Live.
Hello, hello.
We'll go live here. Let me jump on Trella. I'm going to do a quick story. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
We'll see. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to let some people on Instagram know where they can find us. Hello, everyone. If you're tuning in, we are live right now on LinkedIn and on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, you're going to have to switch over to LinkedIn, YouTube. Moving forward, a lot of our content will be there. So if you want to catch up with what we're doing, come join us there. See ya. All right. Send it. Hopefully that worked. you never know. I can't hear myself, so I got these on, so I don't know if that took. But looks like we are good, right?
Yeah, yeah, we on.
We are good. We're on. We'll play this video a bit while we wait for people to join us um, before we get started. But you and I can catch up a little bit. I know we saw each other yesterday
We did.
at a new location, new hydroponic farm location that we're going to be working with. Um, that space is going to be great. I mean, we'll be able to share a lot more detail in the next, probably by July. July is when we do the official move in. So we went, Denise and I were there yesterday, breaking down the old space to move into the new space. Old space was about what, like 500 square feet, a little less than that.
Yeah.
New space is 5,000 square feet to work with. Um, so we're taking what we did in the small space and scaling it up in that 5,000 square foot facility. But that's not until July. So I saw you yesterday.
You did, and I saw you yesterday.
And right now I'm showing just until we get started. We're waiting for a few more, for people to get in. I just posted on Instagram that we're live. Want people to get in, so I figured let's show a video of a plant in in our product. This is a Model 4E, so I'm just going in there and pulling out some of the leaves that might be a little old, a little discolored, like that one right there. I'm about to pull out, and I'm doing this all with one hand. I've got a phone in one hand. And I've got my other hand in the other, so that it shows you that you can get in there, you can get to the plant, you can get access to all the sides, the top, etc. And I've said in past videos or past posts, we do low stress chaining. We don't trim or prune a lot. We do defoliate, take some leaves out, but the goal is to keep things intact as much as possible. So you got a lot of leaves in there, a lot of biomass in there, but really happy with the progress of this so far. Yeah, so that's the video. So we're gonna leave that running for a bit while we let people join in. Wait for some people maybe on Instagram to hopefully join if they feel like it. Denise, as you know, Snuffy G, we'll call you Snuffy G. Snuff, as you know, the algorithms on these social media platforms are bananas.
Banana.
And especially when you're in the cannabis space, because you can't really show ads and it's hard to get seen. And Instagram is just really competitive to try to get out there, to get people to engage. On LinkedIn and on YouTube, we have a lot more success. So we're going to be putting a lot more of our efforts over the moving forward into LinkedIn and YouTube. So if if you want to know what we're doing, if you want to be up to date on what's going on, if you want the freshest videos, the freshest photos, LinkedIn is probably going to be the spot. And we're going to do these weekly lives too, so you'll get an update every week on what we're doing. And you were going to say?
Yeah, it's getting so bad too with Instagram and blocking people. Even Madonna was blocked the other day to do her Instagram live to talk about things. She was blocked. She was ready to go, promoted it, did everything, went on it, couldn't do it. She was blocked. So,
what was she talking about?
She wanted to talk about her new release, her new Frozen release or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know if it was because of her NFT announcement a couple of weeks ago. It was kind of racy, as Madonna does. But I don't know. She didn't get a warning. She didn't get anything. And then, like we went through, Yep. And like what we went through, they weren't able to give her an explanation, nothing. So even Madonna's feeling it.
Interesting. I mean, we've had our account disabled twice
Yeah.
in a like a month. Like it was a short time frame. Like they re-enabled it and then they disabled it again. So Instagram is, and our Instagram channel started back in 2018. I mean, we've been working on this for a while. 2018 is when I think we started our Instagram, and all those photos, all those images were just gone.
Yeah.
And you couldn't engage with the community anymore. It was so frustrating. That was kind of like the straw for me when it came to Instagram and Facebook. So LinkedIn, YouTube, that's where you'll find us. We'll post to Instagram and stuff just periodically to let people know we're still alive, we're still kicking. But if you're looking for like the most up to date stuff, that's you're gonna find us here or either on YouTube. That's ridiculous. And speaking of, I sent you something the other day. This is off topic. We'll start.
Sure.
We'll get started in just a minute. But when we get closer to Juneteenth, which is June 19th, when we get closer to Juneteenth, I think I'd like to take some time to talk about what Juneteenth is, the importance of it, and what it means to me. Because this Walmart,
I know
with this ice cream.
Oh my God, dude.
They tried to trade. They put trademark, a TM symbol beside Juneteenth ice cream trademark. I know it's not related to vertical farming cannabis, but it's related to our community beliefs and how in just if you are out there thinking about how if you have a company and you're trying to figure out what to do on Juneteenth, proceed with caution.
Yeah.
proceed with caution. Because people are not making the wisest decisions, I think, when it comes to how they treat that
Nope.
What is now called a holiday, but should be more of a historical, a historical moment that everybody should remember.
Agreed.
So yeah, we'll talk about that then. But I don't know. Should we jump in? I know we were going to talk about today. We're going to talk about vertical farming and having a bad rap. Let's switch this up. And that this bad reputation that vertical farming has had has been from the beginning. I kind of want to come to vertical farming's defense and admit that it's not perfect. Talk about why it's not perfect. Talk about how we're trying to help with that. Let's stop this. It's distracting me.
Listen, nothing's perfect, Asia. Like, you know what I mean? And then for people just to be like, well, vertical farming, poo. Like we want to go, original, like farming in the soil on land, vast lands and everything. It's like, okay, well, vertical farming isn't perfect, but it's needed. And we just need to improve upon it. But nothing is perfect. So everyone needs to just calm down.
Yeah. Everything is a work in progress. And, I saw a message yesterday about someone, kind of saying there are no sustainable indoor farming methods on the market, and you should add the word "yet" to that. I think, and let me just show this. This is a different LinkedIn post. Let me show what I posted on LinkedIn a couple days ago. I will share it. Okay, you should be able to see my LinkedIn profile. Okay, so this is a LinkedIn profile, and this is regarding someone else's post about a New York Times article titled "Vertical Farms Expand as Demand for Year-Round Produce Grows." We'll talk about this. We'll show you the New York Times article too, but one of the paragraphs talks about scientists having doubts about the vertical farming's ability to scale and diversify, and how much electricity things like tomatoes take compared to lettuce, and how much electricity strawberries take compared to lettuce. And I mean, I've been saying for a while that we need plant diversity. We can't just live off of microgreens, leafy greens. We need the fruits. The fruits provide a whole nother realm of nutrition, and sustenance, and sugars, all of that that we need. I remember when I was a kid, I don't know if you ever heard this. They would say that one of the reasons why people would pass away during like long journeys overseas, like back in like the 1700s, 1600s, usually probably like, slave era type of stuff. One of the reasons people would pass away is lack of vitamin C. They didn't have the proper nutrition during some of those travels. You can't just live off of like the green stuff. And we're seeing now that the availability of outdoor farming um, is not consistent. It's under threat,
Mm.
and it's not it's not as available as we think it is, especially for the huge population, the mass population that we have. We got to feed everybody. Um, so we need indoor farming. We need to farm in a different manner. I'm not saying by any means that we don't need outdoor farming. We need both. As another gentleman I think said, we need balance, and I agree.
Hmm. I agree. I agree. Especially when states are beginning to, like we talked about last week and the week before, when states are beginning to pay farmers not to grow their crops. So that has, I mean, it has a ripple effect throughout our whole nation.
Right, right. Lack of water. That was the reason why they were
Hmm.
paying farmers not
Hmm.
to grow in
Yep.
California, a few places, a few different
Hmm.
states. Please don't grow. We don't have enough water for you.
Yep.
Indoor farming doesn't require as much water, which is a pro. But one of I think the cons, and maybe we can switch up to that New York article, Denise, if you want to
I
share it.
got you. Hmm. Stand by to stand by. Can you see it? Oh, no, add the stream. There we go. There we go. Can you see it, Asia?
Yes, we can.
Oh, that's that one. Stand by. Hold on. That's the wrong one.
All good, all good.
Can you see this now? No. Ugh, there we go.
And the thing about that New York Times article is if you don't pay, you gotta you can only click on it like five
Oh yeah,
times.
yeah. And I don't know how, but I got um on like a little. Can you see it now, my friend? There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Yeah. We'll go to the very top for everybody. Here we go. This is it.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool picture that they have there too.
That's a very cool picture.
Is that Bowery or who is that they say? The Plenty. That's Plenty.
Yeah, plenty. Yep.
And so this is the New York Times article that I was talking about in that last LinkedIn post this week about hey, we need vertical farming. It's expanding because demand for year-round produce grows. Like there's a need for it, obviously. But as you can see in this picture, those little places. I know companies are into these and things like that.
You're gonna have to say that again, Asia. You were coming in and out.
Okay, yeah, we'll get this figured out. But Plenty, they're doing microgreens. I think they're also trying to expand into strawberries, which grow differently, grow so you're not going to be able to use perhaps the same configuration for things like strawberries, melons, peppers. You're going to have to think differently, which is one of the things that we've been at Trella working on, is trying to grow. How do you grow a plant horizontally and then stack those plants so that you can grow a lot more variety of food? But even in this article, we were going through it, Denise, and where did we find a few things we wanted to point out? Was it the tomatoes and the strawberries taking up a lot more energy?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, it was the same almost quote that you had on your LinkedIn, and they're just talking about more of like scientists. Technology has its limitations,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, well, yeah, technology does have limitations, but we need to figure out different technologies. So the limitations are now, but they're not going to be, in the next couple of years. Not as, especially when this industry, Asia, is about to explode into the billions. Like, what did it say? 70 billion? Did I read that? 76 billion in the next couple of years?
Yeah, go up to the top again and see what that
Is it
number
the?
was.
Oh, did I miss it? Sorry, everybody. I'm gonna get sick like looking at all of it. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Whoops. Vertical farming 9.7 billion worldwide by 2026.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I mean that's in my opinion, like I've seen numbers that are like
Higher.
higher than that. And then
Yeah.
if you talk about the cannabis space, that's a whole nother thing. Hemp, more, add you're in the hundreds of billions for that. There's so much of a need for this, and I know, especially when you're doing, when you're growing food and doing like creating technology for food, plants. It's not like creating something that like a bicycle or something like that, like a really cool electrical bike. All right, you build it, you design it, you put somebody on it, they ride it, they either enjoy the experience or they don't. You get feedback like that right away. You get feedback very instantly. But when it comes to growing food, you have to go through the whole growth cycle, figure out how did it work, tweak it, grow again. The feedback loop on that is a lot longer. Like it takes you months sometimes to figure out, did this work? So all of this technology, LED technology, vertical farming technology, HVAC technology, all these climate controls that people are systems that people are doing, they're going to take time to develop. So yes, currently vertical farming is maybe not as sustainable as it could be, but there are a plethora of people that are working on it, such as us,
Hmm.
um, and we're going to get there. So yeah, I would say vertical farming does have a bad reputation because it is. And as I guess, let's show that next article because that talks about the
Yeah.
beef. What are the
Sure. This one, right?
Yeah, there it is. Can you scroll up to the top so we can give them credit for using this?
Yep. Close your eyes again. This
Don't
is
get dizzy.
hydroponicsplant.com.
Cool.
This was a January 18th this year
Yeah, vertical farming
article.
sustainable.
She looks happy.
You're with plants, of course you are.
We wanted to talk about down here the critiques. Is this where you want to start?
Yeah, countering the critiques of sustainability of vertical farms. So I think if you scroll down a little bit, it talks first about energy. Number one, I think there's a line actually right above that image,
Right
that
here?
paragraph. To be fair, electricity is. I'll pull it up on my screen so I can see it too. But yeah, to be fair, electricity is the top expense of a vertical farm. That being said, vertical farms use about as much energy as the average commercial greenhouse of comparable size. So when they say comparable size, vertical farms are stacked. So that's every level is a square footage or some sort of area. So you take all that square footage, you lay it out over a greenhouse, you're taking up about the same amount of energy. Growing indoors requires you having to replicate the sun. I mean, that's an incredibly powerful source.
Right.
So you're basically trying to replicate the sun inside. That's going to require a lot of energy unless you can use it efficiently. And it continues to say when you add the fact in, we really aren't talking just about vertical farms anymore. We're talking about the need to improve energy efficiency in indoor farming in general. So it's not really a vertical farming thing; it's an indoor farming thing. Trying to
Mhm.
replicate the sun inside, you got to bring in those lights, and LEDs were a start. I think LEDs help significantly from the old school like fluorescence, HPS types of lights that people were using. They have a much lower LED, power consumption. Higher cost is going to cost you more upfront to get LEDs, but your operating costs are substantially diminished. But that's still not enough because, as that other article said, if you want to start growing things like cannabis, tomatoes, beefy things that create a lot of sugars, have a lot of like biomass to them, you're going to need a lot more light. You're going to need lot more light output, which means it's going to be a lot more light consumption, power consumption. Your costs are going to go up. So if you want to switch over to something like that, it's not just about, hey, I was growing microgreens, now I want to grow tomatoes. You have to really like tweak and redesign the entire layout and infrastructure that surrounds that's inside of your facility. It's not an easy switch. And then you're going to have the increase in operating costs on top of that. So, you know, it really is about, trying to be efficient, trying to be innovative. And there are people like us that are thinking about this. But, if you scroll down some more, Denise, what was the rest of it? It was there's other issues with vertical farming, and reasons why people say it's not sustainable. Which, if you're just joining in, thanks for joining us. But if you're just joining in, we're saying vertical farming does have a bad reputation. It is true, but it is not. It's not offered, like it's not lost. Like we can do much better. People are working on it. These things take time, especially when you're designing for food. The feedback loop on if things are working take weeks and months. So these are things that will develop over time. But it's a definite need. We cannot give up on indoor and vertical farming at all. And here's another reason why. A lot of the vertical farms, it says the crops vertical farms produce. I think it's that paragraph that says so far.
So far. So far. Where am I? Where did we want to go so far?
Yeah, there you go. So keep going up.
So far? Yeah.
Yep.
I see.
If you can highlight that for everybody. So far, many vertical farms produce mostly greens, which we identified that that issue back in 2016. So far, many vertical farms produce mostly greens, and most commercial vertical farms, crops like kale, spinach, lettuce, and leafy herbs are staples. For those that argue against vertical farm sustainability, limited crop diversity is a big part of the stance. And if you go to a lot of the stuff that we've been saying from like 2018 forward, when we started doing our social media push, it's been about plant diversity. We cannot just rely on microgreens, kale, spinach. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it over and over and over again.
For the people in the back.
For the people in the back, we need a more diverse variety of foods for nutritional purposes. And there's another movement, and not just plant-based movement that's out there. There's also a movement about a fruit-based diet that's actually got a lot more of a healthier benefit. People think about fruit having a lot of sugar, but fruit does not have the same fake sugar that we consume, in our cereal and stuff. That's fructose. That's not sugar. Fruit has different types of sugar that is actually good for you and will not cause diabetes and does not cause health benefits. I'm not a medical professional, so please don't take my word as science, but look it up and do some research. There's going to be an increased need for fruit. The more that people start waking up from plant-based and going, okay, I'm eating healthier with plant-based, but what else is there? If you really want to push your energy level, your health level to the next state, you have to start doing the fruits. So it's great to have all these indoor solutions that are for kale, spinach, lettuce, and leafy herbs. But what about the fruit-bearing plants? How are we going to get those indoors? How are we going to stack them? And how are we going to do it without having to increase our light and LED power consumption by what that other article said, by 60% more, or even maybe 120% more in the case of strawberries.
Right.
So, being able to grow a plant horizontally, keep that height at a tall fruit-bearing plant, a big, robust plant. Imagine growing that horizontally, being able to keep that LED light very close, turn that power down, and then being able to sync those LED lights to only go on as the plant grows horizontally. We're cutting down on that we're taking that back down to about 61%. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this, we're moving into a new facility with one of our partners, our R&D partners. We started at a 500 square foot facility. We're going to a 5,000 square foot facility. And that's going to be one of the main things that we start doing R&D on, is how do we sync those LED lights to go on? What are the best types of lights to use? What's the best type of dimming sequence and dimming schedule that we can use to really bring that light power consumption down? It's not just about growing the plant horizontally. It's about syncing those lights to go on so that you can cut down on that power consumption. And then we can push back on this reputation, this bad reputation that vertical farming has. So, what else is there that we wanted to show on this art in this one? Food being expensive. You picked up on that. That this type of
Yeah,
food is considered to be expensive.
yeah, because now it's considered a designer food, which is kind of ridiculous to me. It's like, no, especially with our R&D partner, they're looking to grow food to give to the community. So I'm not too sure where they're talking about like it being so expensive. And have you seen it, Asia, when you're going shopping, if they have like obviously organic is more expensive, but I haven't seen like another thing saying that this was a vertical farming, you know, product and it's going to be more expensive than that. Have you seen anything like that?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it, but hey, I'm not in the supermarkets as much as everybody else.
Oh.
Oh boy, that's good timing. There is a smoke detector going off. I think somebody is probably cooking something and it stopped. Thank you.
I'm like, get out of the building.
Yeah, no, I think we're okay. Hopefully we're okay. It might come back. But that's the thing about, these smoke detectors, they're very sensitive.
Very sensitive.
That's funny. That's funny. What were we saying before that happened?
I don't know. We were just
Oh,
talking
talking
about
about supermarkets and how
supermarkets.
they might jack up the prices on things that supposedly are hydroponically farmed
Yeah. Right.
or vertically farmed. I think there's some things that we have, like I get arugula. I love arugula. If that's one of the microgreens that I would grow, I would like grow more arugula. I love it. It's got that peppery taste to it.
I
I
love that
almost,
peppery taste.
I know, I eat it like chips sometimes. And
Mm.
when you're trying to switch your diet, you got to figure out what's the thing that I can use as a snack. And I like arugula. I'll just take it right out of the thing and just chomp on it. Um, but that's hydroponically sourced.
Huh?
But all the food prices are going up, so it's hard to say. Like,
Like which is which?
yeah. I haven't paid that much close attention to that to our arugula purchases.
But then you would think too, if these vertical farms are in our neighborhoods, which they're going to be shortly, right? Because we want to cut down on the transportation of when something is ripe to get into the store for people to eat. Then I would think that that pricing would be almost reduced because you're not paying for the transport of it any longer. So I'm wondering where they're kind of how they figure out the price point of these things.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, what we're trying to do in Massachusetts with that with our R&D client, and we'll share more of the specifics of this new location and the new project that we're working on. But they want to sell wholesale to some other to other restaurants and other companies that are using their produce, and then they also want to sell direct to the local community, which is mostly low income, um, urban area, and having things right there. We grow it, you come in, you take it. Like that allows not having to buy the trucks and
Hmm.
go through all that transportation, the storage. There's a lot of
Right.
things that you have to grow it, and then you have to maybe freeze it, especially when it comes to fruits. A lot of our fruits are stored frozen, and then they travel and take them somewhere else. Having things that are locally grown, the urban farmers, in my opinion, yeah. But how are we doing on time?
It's almost 12:30.
Almost 12:30. Yeah, I also wanted to say, so we'll share more about that R&D partnership coming up, and we're going to be moving into that site, aiming for July. Really excited about this new space. Oh God.
I saw the video of Asia showed me a video yesterday of the new space because we weren't able to get into it, and it was a video of her touring it, and the smile on your face, Asia, you were just like, "Oh my God, look at all this space! The possibilities are just like endless, and it's
Yeah,
going to look really, really good."
yeah. I mean, and we're thinking about scaling even further, in 2023, and having a warehouse where we can do it, we can really take it and really, I think, nail that wholesale. Because this location, first we were just doing kind of the experimental in our 500 square foot location. Now we're going to the 5,000 square foot location where we'll be able to produce at a larger scale to at least provide produce to that local community from a retail perspective. But we also have, well, our R&D partner also has some contracts with people who want to buy at wholesale. So now she's like, I need a warehouse.
Right.
So we're going to be taking it to a warehouse or two. So this is we're in it for the long game. We're in it for the long game. We understand that vertical farming is here to stay. We feel like we have a really great solution to help with this, to help diversify the types of plants, to help lower the power consumption needed. That's what we're all about. And we're also, we're doing this for the community. We're also doing this in partnership with the community. The community, is really the people who have gotten us this far. We use regulation crowdfunding. Anyone in the public can become an investor. You see the URL sliding by on the bottom. So please, if you haven't taken a look at our investment offering for as low as $250, you could be an investor in Trella. Follow along on our journey, support us, and see what we're doing, and how we're going to be impacting the community in the next couple of years, because we have a lot of work to do. And really glad that we partnered up with our R&D partner. So we'll share more about that. If you want to know, you want to stay in the know, like I mentioned at the beginning, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, that's not where we're getting our traction. That's not where we're getting our engagement. We're getting our engagement here on LinkedIn and on YouTube and our email newsletter. So if you really want to know what's going on, go to Trella.io, sign up for our newsletter. We're also going to be doing a live pitch. We did a live pitch a couple of weeks ago with a group called the 10K Project, Bet on Black Pitch. And we're going to do it again for the larger community. We're going to invite everybody in our community. If you want to know about that, join the newsletter. We're trying to coordinate that with WeFunder so that they can share it with their community too. So that date is to be determined. It'll probably be via Zoom. We'll just ask for people to register, let us know who's going to be there, and we're gonna. I'll pitch, I'll be there, and then we open it up for Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions about the investment, about the company, about our strategy, what we're doing, that's going to be a great time to check us out. But yeah, we're here for the long haul. We have a lot of different resources and channels and things that we can do. We're really grateful for our R&D partners. We're really grateful to the community that supports and invests in us. As long as we have that, we're good to go. We're good to go. So anything else, Denise?
Don't forget, you're doing consulting now, Asia. So tell the people.
Yes. Yeah. We also consult. I mean, that's how the R&D partnership really kind of came to be, starting out as, what do you need? You want to build a hydroponic space. Okay, we can help you get the equipment, test the equipment, install the equipment, maintain the equipment. We did all of that. We also do some cannabis SOP work, standard operating procedures for people who are looking to get into the cannabis space. They want to have a cannabis cultivation license, but they don't know where to start with their SOPs. We can help you with that. I've been a consultant engineer, right out of undergrad. I was a consultant engineer. That's what I like to do. Go in, find a problem, and help people find a solution. So we do that at Trella as well. It kind of happened organically, and now we are ramping it up and letting people know that this is what we do. We don't just make product. We don't just sell product. We actually consult and figure out, what do you need? And if our product works for your situation, great. If it doesn't, it's all good. We'll find a product that does. But it's about problem solving, because we got to get to work, everybody, for real. Like this food shortage stuff, it's for real. It's coming. We have not seen the climax of it. You can check us out, Trella.io, and schedule a free 20-minute consultation just to get to know each other and get to talk. And then we can take it from there. But that's it.
That's it.
All right. Everybody, mad peace, mad love. Thank you very much for your time. All right. See you next week, next Tuesday. Denise, Snuffy G, you'll be away, but we'll have another person sitting in for that one. All right. All right. Later, everybody.